Alright, welcome to Mr. Nelson's YouTube video. Okay, so what we've got here is we are going to learn how to simplify. Alright, so we're going to simplify. And so the most common things you can simplify are by 2 and 5. Sometimes we'll throw in 10 there. Those are the most common you can simplify by. Alright, we're going to start off with 2. The reason we're starting by 2 is because if it ends in an even number, 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, you can always simplify that number by 2. All right, the other one is 5. If it ends in 5 or 0, you can simplify that number by 5. If it ends in 0, you can simplify by 10. All right, so we're going to look at this number right here. We've got 18 over 20, but that can be simplified. 18 over 20 can be simplified. The way you simplify is if you do it to the top or the numerator, you have to do it to the denominator. Okay? So if I want to simplify this, I know that this ends in 8 and this ends in 0. So since they end in even numbers, I know I can simplify by 2. So I simplify by 2 by dividing the top by 2. And dividing the bottom by 2. When I divide 2 into 18, or half of 18 is 9. When you divide 2 into 18, you get 9. When I divide 2 into 20, I get 10. So 9/10 is my equal to 18/20. Okay? You can see that times 2 would get you there, times 2 would get you there. All right, the next one is 45 over 80. This ends in 5 and 0, so I know that it can be simplified by 5. Okay? So I simplify. By dividing into both. It has to go into both of these. So 5 goes into that numerator. 5 goes into the denominator. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 5 goes into 80. Well, 5 goes into 8 once, leaves you 3 left over. 5 goes into 36 times, so that's going to be 16. Okay, so we're sitting at 9 over 16, and nothing goes into both 9 and 16. 3 goes into 9, but 3 doesn't go into 16. That's it. So 9/16 is the same thing as 45 over 80. Okay. All right, now we've got 12 over 46. In this case, well, it ends in an even number, so I know for sure 2 can go into it. So that's where I'm going to start. 2 goes into 12, 6 times. 2 goes into 46. Well, 2 goes into 4, 2 times. And 2 goes into 6, 3 times. So we've got 6 over 23. And I don't believe anything goes into 23. So that's where we stop when we simplify. So 6/23 is the same thing as 12 over 46. Okay, we can see that. All we do there is multiply by 2 to get to those. All right, this one here, we got 15 over 90. Well, what do they end in? A 5 and a 0. So I know that 5 can go into both of these because that was the way we thought about it. So 5 goes into both of these. When I divide 15 by 5, I get 3. When I divide 90 by 5, well, 5 goes into 9 one time. That leaves you with 4 left. That leaves you with 40. 5 goes into 40 8 times. So 3 over 18. Oh, wait. 3 goes into both of those. So I divide the top by 3. And I divide the bottom by 3. And that leaves me with 1 and 3 into 18, 6. Because 6 times 3 is 18. So, in the end, we have 15/90 is the same thing as 1/6. 1/6 is the simplest form of that. So we learned how to simplify fractions. Simplifying fractions is basically dividing the top number and the bottom number, the numerator and the denominator, by the same number. and then that gives us a simplified form of that same exact fraction. It doesn't change the fraction, it just gives you a simpler form of it. In this case, it's 3/10. Okay. All right, so after this, you should be able to simplify fractions. It's a skill that we'll need throughout this unit and on.